What's good with it, y'all? It's Coffee on the Vid, tapping back in with some updates, and this is a rare occurrence right here, right? Y'all know Jay-Z isn't really much for social network and all that, man, but he's overseas with Beyonce. She's doing the Cowboy Carter tour, or whatever the fuck it's called, right? I don't know if you guys seen that clip where she was performing and had a wardrobe malfunction, like part of her jump off fell down, and they freaked it into the choreography of the dance moves to, like, it's hard to even really describe, but like they freaked it where it was like she was dancing, but they were fixing it and putting it back on. It's crazy, man. I'll put a link to it if y'all want to peep it out. I got a short of it up, I believe, man. Make sure to subscribe, hit the buttons in the comments and all that if you're new. You know what I mean? It's all about coffee, talking it up with y'all, the people over here. But for real, Hove, not really all for social network and all that. And here he is with his brothers and sisters, his siblings, all together. And I don't know if the paparazzi took this flick or someone from his fam was like, yo, one for the gram, let's go ham, man, rep off for the Carter family. But they all favor each other, like the resemblance is super strong, right? Tell me it ain't. Then we got Rapper The Game. You know, he's typically caught up in some bull-ish or getting chased for the lawsuit money he owes, but today you see it's just, well, this was yesterday I believe, but it was all good news for The Game, good vibes. You see what he was talking about, and congrats to him as his son is graduating high school. That's cool, you know what I mean? Like, Game always in the blogs for some whole other ish, but you know, like, it's a beautiful day. You know, a father, a parent, your kids graduating high school, going on to college or whatever's next. Good for you, Game. Congrats.
So I told all my black friends, stay in the cell. We went out to the yard. Boom. The guys ran down on the guy that cut the other black kid. Right. They all ran down on him, almost killed him, an inch away from his heart, took him to the hospital. And I go back out there and I say, okay, on this date, this is what we're going to do. This day, we're going to go out there, we're going to put the Puerto Rican flag in the middle of the flag, and we're going to stab everybody that's black. And I did that. I went out there and we did that. We put the flag on, I stabbed everybody. And the guy that was the main guy that was getting away, he was handcuffed, shackled. They was escorting him out. Yeah. And I ran down, chased the police down, backed them down, and cut him out in front of the police.
And then to close it on out, this video is like controversial, I guess we'll say. You see, it's a Coxsackie prison is where this was said to have gone down, as some people are debating in the comments whether it's real or not. That's Pistol Pete, right-hand man of Fat Joe, Terror Squad, right? If you guys recall, we were just talking about Game. Remember when Game made that DVD, Stop Snitching, Stop Lying? They had Pistol Pete on there where he was talking about, like, he pressed Tony Yayo or something like that. And I think Yayo actually talked about it somewhere else. But, like, you know, that's at the same time Game was beefing with Fifth in the unit. Fat Joe and Terror Squad was beefing with Fifth in the unit. But back to talking about Pistol Pete here, you see he was telling, like, he said, yo, I told my homies, my friends that were black, don't go out to the yard. And you heard what he said. It was a racially motivated like riot or attack, whatever you want to call it, a HATE crime, right? And some people are like, did this really happen? What year is this? I've seen someone saying, yeah, questions like that always like dead off fake prison stories. But what I gotta say is, why would Pistol Pete be like, come up with a fake racial story? You know what I mean? I don't believe that he would. And I didn't hear the whole interview. What was the basis for this, that he was going against just black inmates like that? And then you heard him say that he had bros that were black that he told not to go to the yard. So I don't know, comment if you've seen the whole video. But as far as like prison politics and stuff like that, you know, I'm no gangster, I'm no square. I always tell y'all, Coffee's an internet nerd, right? I just tap in, you know, to speak on the content and just have that conversation with y'all on the different topics and whatnot. So once again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the buttons, but more importantly, hit the comments and join the discussion. But, you know, I know out on the West Coast, like, there's often talked about Mexicans and black inmates, like, having beef and things of that nature. But on the East Coast, I never really recall it being like this from what I know, you know what I mean? But I never been up top. I have friends that have, and they didn't really tell me this, and I never seen it like that in the streets. You know, like I've seen mad Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, cool with a lot of black dudes, and a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are black. You know what I mean? Like I don't really know where this all comes from, what exactly this is all about, but I never heard of those kind of tensions on the East Coast. But I do remember hearing, though, at one point in time when, you know, the Bloods on the East Coast, I don't know if this is actual, factual, and accurate, but I heard, you ever heard on the East Coast, they'd be like, brat, brat, you know what I mean? On the East Coast, though, I heard that it started more in prison for black inmates against the Latin kings. So I don't know if like there was these kind of tensions, and that was back in the day. Like I said, I never really heard of things happening like that, but I did recall hearing something that like when the Bloods started becoming more stronger and strength in numbers and popping off more in New York, in the New York State Department of Corrections, the New York State prison system, that it was like the Latin Kings were one of the top organizations, you know what I mean? But the Bloods kind of became a movement. I think Treyway too, right? The 9 Trey gangsters, I believe, came in 1993. It's crazy too. I heard a story that the dude that brought that blood stuff to the East Coast was actually like a Crip dropout from the West Coast. Again, I don't know if this is actual, factual, or none of that, you know what I mean? But we're just talking about this in this video that's again going viral. Fat Joe's homie Pistol Pete talking about attacking a bunch of black inmates, eating their food in a prison yard. Like I don't know, man. What do y'all think? And did you ever hear about that? Like the 9 Trey gangsters, the Bloods, kind of forming for the black inmates to come together and be more powerful on the East Coast and all that. And like I said, I know I heard about them kind of having somewhat of a rivalry with the Latin Kings, but from my understanding, it wasn't on no straight racial stuff like on the West Coast, you know. I don't know though. So that's gonna do it for this one. Let's discuss all these topics in the comments. It's Coffee. Thank you for tuning in. Sub to the channel, and I get with y'all on the next one. Peace and God bless.